Welcome everybody to this short training video on how to use the Akashic Records to access your soul purpose. My name is Emily Harrison. I am the founder and director of the Akashic Academy, and I am a mentor to other lightworkers in how to use the Akashic Records to not only expand their current healing modalities, but to access any piece of information that we're looking for in the known universe. The Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information exists. And many times as humans, we can look at this as a library. We visualize in our mind this big etheric library. And while it can be very beneficial to help give us guidelines within our own imagination of what this space is, because it is an abstract concept, when we visualize things, we can give it more of an understanding, we can give it more relevance into our real life. Right? So it becomes easy to understand this concept when we think of an ethereal library that houses all of the information in the known universe. But I really want to share with you guys that this is not a space that is outside of yourself, so to speak. Because we can't go outside of ourselves to find our soul purpose. We can't actually travel to another place in the galaxy, go into an actual library, and look up what our soul purpose is. All of the answers that we're looking for is inside of ourself. And the access point to the Akashic Records is inside of your heart space. It can also be helpful to look at the Akashic Records as an electromagnetic field of information. And we can access that electromagnetic field that each and every single one of us have through different means. I'm going to take you through a process today, which is my process of accessing the Akashic Records. But very similar to praying, there's no one right or wrong way to pray, to access source energy. There are some key components that need to be in place before moving into those higher states of consciousness where you can have clear access to the realm of the Akashic Records. But those are all programmed into the method that I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to walk you through today for accessing your own Akashic Records and bringing forward what your soul purpose is here on the planet. Now, the Akashic Records house every single bit of information from your past, your present, and every possible future. Yes, the future is recorded in infinite possibility, so there's always wiggle room in our future. So no need to stress out. The future is not locked in stone. The future actually presents itself according to our vibrational frequency. So simply by shifting your own vibrational frequency, you can shift the possible futures for yourself. And that is something that I actually teach in the more advanced training of learning how to read the Akashic Records. Now, while I'm going to walk you through this process today, I also want to share with you that this is not all of the information that you need to open the realm of the Akashic Records at will anytime that you want. There are certain protocols that we must understand, certain initiation processes that each individual must go through before we have the ability to stay in that high frequency of energy and get any answers that we want. But as your guide today, I'm going to be holding that powerful frequency for you so that you can come in contact with what your soul purpose is here on the planet. If this ignites and inspires you to learn more about the Akashic Records and to learn to do this at will on your own, then I invite you to check out my website, www.askyourrecords.com, because I do have online training programs to teach you how to access your own Akashic Records as well as read the Akashic Records for others in your life, and to use that sacred energy to not only bring more wisdom, guidance, and clarity from a space of unconditional love and zero judgment. By the way, the Akashic Records do not give us information in the same way that we experience information here on our day-to-day lives. See, human beings are very polar. We experience joy because we've known sadness. The entire planet is held into place because of the North and the South Pole. See, this is a very polar state of consciousness. We receive information in the Akashic Records from the eyes of God, from how God sees us. Not from this state of polarity, but from a state of unconditional love and zero judgment. So that's an important thing to understand as we're moving into the space of the Akashic Records, that the information that we receive is not the same as we receive and process information here on this planet. And when we learn to access the Akashic Records, not only can we bring forward any amount of wisdom, guidance, and clarity about any topic in our lives, but we can also receive powerful healing energy that comes from that space, because the energy from the Akashic Records actually has its own consciousness, very similar to Reiki. So when we tune in and we put ourselves in the frequency of the Akashic Records, not only are we going to receive wisdom, insight, and guidance, but we're also receiving shifting energy, healing energy. We're receiving the energy with a consciousness beyond our own that knows exactly what to do within our own energy field to bring about the desired results that we're looking for. And it is my privilege and honor to facilitate that energy for each and every single one of you today. Before we move into the process of opening our Akashic Records, I also want to invite you to get more simple with this idea of what our soul purpose is. So many times as human beings, we make this so much bigger than it actually needs to be. We want to see every single detail. We want to see what it is that we're here to do, what it looks like, how we get there, the benefits to ourselves and our family, and we need to keep it more simple. Our soul purpose doesn't even have to do with our job, by the way. It has to do with what it is that we're here to learn and to help others with on this planet. And there are some tips and tricks that I want to give you before we move into this process that's going to help get you in the frame of mind of thinking and bringing up what it is that your soul purpose is. All right, I want you to think about things that, one, inspire you, what makes you happy when you're doing it, what doesn't even feel like work when you're doing it. Okay, so what makes you happy, what inspires you? And the second thing, what are you naturally good at? These are keys to really understanding and unlocking your soul purpose. With that, I'm going to take you into a meditative process where we are actually going to move into the space of the Akashic Records, and we are going to allow the teachers, the masters, the loved ones, and the guides, which are the ascended light beings who exist in the space of the Akashic Records, to come forward and assist us in understanding what our soul purpose is on the planet. Now, one more little thing before we move into this process. I want to invite you to tune into your imagination. Your imagination is the key to getting information inside the space of the Akashic Records. When we intend to plug in to this very high vibrating realm of love and insight, we can trust, because this is a universal law, that energy goes where our attention flows. Wait, I didn't say that right. It goes, energy flows where our attention goes. Where our attention flows, energy goes. It goes something like that. You guys know the saying that I'm talking about, right? It means whatever we're putting our intention on, the energy follows that path. So once we've intended to tune in to the space of the Akashic Records, you can trust that any information that pops into your mind in that space is not something that you're making up. This is information that is coming forward to you from the space of your own highest levels of wisdom, guidance, and clarity. Okay, so learn to trust your imagination. That is a key component to really receiving messages and receiving insights from not only the Akashic Records, but from our spirit guides, from source energy. It's all about trusting what it is that's popping up inside of your imagination. Okay, so I'm going to invite you guys to get nice and comfortable. I'm going to light a little sweet grass here to create some sacred space for us. I always like to clear my space because, the actual location where you are, I'm out here in my office, which is a very high vibrating space, but the actual location of where you are holds energy. The chair that you're sitting on holds energy. The walls that surround you hold energy. Everything holds energy. And we want to make sure that we clear out all lower vibrating frequencies so that we can have the most success in activating and moving into these higher realms. So if you don't have sweetgrass, if you don't have sage, if you don't have Palo Santo or anything to actually burn through your space, that's okay. You can clear your space with your intention. So you just send out a little prayer from your heart intending to clear all lower vibrating frequencies from the space that you're in, and create yourself a little bubble, a little meditation bubble to move into the space of the Akashic Records. And with that, we're going to do a little bit of breath work. Okay, I want to invite you to take a couple synchronized breaths with me. And as we breathe together and we synchronize our breath, I'm actually going to be holding powerful space for you to have a lot of success in this process that we're about to do. Okay, I also want you to imagine as we breathe in that you're breathing in the light, and as you exhale, we're breathing out any lower vibrating energies that we're holding on to from our day. Okay, any stresses that are in your mind, anything that you have to go to and take care of after this meditation process, we're just going to let all of that go with our breath. Okay, so with the inhale, we're breathing in the light, and with the exhale, we're releasing all lower vibrating energies. Deep breath in, breathing in light and expansion, and exhaling, releasing anything that does not support this process. Nice deep breath in, and exhale. Good work. Now I want you to focus on a central column of light running up and down your spine. This column of light houses your chakras, and as we breathe, whether you are familiar with your chakras or not, as we move our breath, our life force energy up and down this column of light, we are naturally balancing and harmonizing all of those chakras. Okay? So I want you to imagine that column of light and take a breath in and see your life force energy going to the top of that column, and then exhaling, your life force energy moves down to the bottom of that column. Another deep breath in, and your life force energy is moving up, and another exhale, and your life force energy moves back down that column. One more deep breath in. And with this exhale, I want you to send that column of light down into the crystalline core center of Mother Earth. So exhaling, imagine that column moving down through your feet, down through the crust of Mother Earth, down through the crystalline caves of Mother Earth, moving down through that crystalline grid, and anchoring deep into the liquid crystalline core center of Mother Earth. I want you to feel yourself sink into that energy. This is all of the unconditional love and support of Mother Earth, as well as all of the wisdom of the earth plane. And just allow yourself to sink into that energy frequency for a moment. And then when you're ready, I want you to pull that energy like a straw up that central column. Pulling it up, feeling it as it's coming up. It's moving up that column of light into your feet, moving up through your ankles, your lower legs, your upper legs, your torso, moving up through your heart, all the way up to the top of your head. Good, and exhale. Send your life force energy, your breath back down, and scoop up some more of that Mother Earth energy. Bringing it all the way up into your being. And every time we bring up this Mother Earth energy, that energy is filling every cell inside of our body. It is igniting our dormant DNA. Okay? It is creating more space of unconditional love and support as we move into these higher realms. Good. Now we're going to take our column of light and we're going to anchor it into the space of the Akash, or the space of ether. Okay, Akasha is a Sanskrit word that means ether, and ether is primordial energy before it has interacted with any of the other energies. The four elementals, earth, wind, water, fire, they all stem from the space of the ether. So we're going to connect our energy column now to the space of the ether. So sending that column of light up out the top of your head, moving all the way up through the atmosphere. We're going to break through the Earth's atmosphere, passing the moon, passing the sun, passing our solar system and our galaxy, passing the other galaxies in our universe, and allow yourself to come up to an invisible force field there between the universe and the ether. And with one more breath, allow your column of light to extend beyond that force field and anchoring up into the space of the Akasha, the space of the ether. And I want you to give yourself a moment to acclimate to this very high frequency energy. And then when you're ready, with your intention, with your imagination, I want you to pull that energy of the Akash down, and it's going to come spiraling down that central column of light. bringing it all the way down through space and time. And I want you to attune your awareness to feeling that energy as it enters into your light body, swirling into your body, mixing with the Mother Earth energy that we brought in, mixing with your own soul blueprint, your own soul's blueprint. And when we bring these energies into our own energetic field, there is a big increase in the electromagnetic energy that's moving through our energy field. So just giving ourselves a moment to acclimate to that higher frequency energy. And notice where you feel this inside of your body. If you're brand new to exercises like this, you might not be as familiar with detecting the subtle energies yet. These are the subtle energies that we're learning to detect. So don't worry if you don't feel anything, but give yourself the opportunity to notice if you do. We're learning to work in the subtle realms of energy. Our day-to-day life takes place in a very dense physical plane of energy. But the higher truth is, of the electromagnetic spectrum of energy, of all the energy that exists throughout the cosmos, everyone, human beings can only perceive 0.003% with their eyes. So that's 0.003% can we actually perceive with our eyes. So learning to detect the subtle energies is a very important skill when we learn to move into the higher states of consciousness. All right. Let's take a few moments to breathe and just run our breath through the entire column we've created. So deep breath in, sending your life force energy all the way up into the ether, and exhaling, pulling that energy back down, sending it all the way down into the crystalline core center of Mother Earth. Breathing up, sending it all the way back up into the space of ether, and exhaling, bringing it back down to Mother Earth. And one more breath. Good. And now we want to move beyond the confines of our brain and how our brain understands knowledge and information. So we want to gather our consciousness, everyone. So I invite you to gather up your consciousness inside of your mind, bringing it into a beautiful crystal ball of consciousness, gathering up all of that brain power you're using to process this meditation, the words that I'm saying, bringing it into a beautiful crystal ball of consciousness. And then with your intention, with your imagination, slowly sinking that ball of consciousness down into your heart space. Seeing that beautiful crystal ball of consciousness now existing in the space of your heart. And the heart is the gateway. This is the portal to moving into the space of the Akashic Records. So within that crystal ball of consciousness, I want you to visualize a pinpoint of light in the very center of that crystal ball. And I want you to allow yourself to move completely into that pinpoint of light, all of your consciousness moving into that pinpoint of light. So seeing the light emanate, white light emanating in 360 degrees all around. And from here, we're going to use the sacred sound of Om. And we're going to sound 5 sacred Ohms to open the space of our Akashic Records. And I'm going to say the sacred Om sentence. I'm going to pause. I'm going to allow you to repeat after me. It's very important that you repeat this out loud. Your voice is an aspect of God inside of you. God, a characteristic of God is God created the universe through sound, through the sacred Om, through speaking the universe into existence, through the Big Bang. However this story makes sense to you, doesn't matter how it makes sense to you, but the bottom line, the basic same components are sound. Your voice is a characteristic of God in you. So it's very important that you use your voice to create this experience, okay? And then after I pause and I allow you to say the sacred Om sentence, then together we are going to sound the ancient sound Om. And again, when we sound the ancient Om, we make all 5 of the vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, and U, and I will walk with you through that process, okay? With this Om, I relax my body. With this Om, I relax my mind. With this Om, I release my ego. With this Om, I call in the light. With this Om, I open the Akashic Records of Emily Suzanne Harrison. And of course, you're going to open your own records, so you're going to use your full name, okay? The records are now open. Okay, so now I'm going to take you on a guided visualization tour of the space of the Akashic Records. So I want you to imagine a beautiful hallway there in front of you. And you can see a door at the end of this hallway. And so allow yourself to walk down this hallway. And as you approach the door, your hand is the key to opening this door. Only your hand on this doorknob, turning this doorknob, will open this door for you. So when you feel ready, I want you to reach out and turn this doorknob, opening the door and walking through, allowing yourself to enter into the realm of the Akashic Records. And as you walk through that door, you're going to notice before you beautiful gardens, and you're going to see a giant temple, that giant etheric library that I talked about. And I want you to allow yourself to walk down this pathway through these gardens and approach the entrance to the Akashic Records. And again, this just, you can imagine this as a very beautiful grand temple, a beautiful library, an etheric library here in the higher realms of space and time. And allow yourself to walk now up the entranceway, as you get to the doors of the Hall of Records, of the Akashic Records, you find the doors swing open for you. And you are welcomed inside by the masters, the teachers, your loved ones, and the guides. And as you walk in, the doors close behind you, and I want you to look up, and I want you to notice that this building, while it looks like a building on the outside, once you're on the inside, this is infinite wisdom. You're going to see spiraling ceilings going up into infinity. Look down the hallways. You'll notice that the hallways, there's no end to these hallways. Infinite number of rooms in this grand temple in the space of the Akashic Records. And now, with the help of your masters, your teachers, your loved ones, and your guides who are all surrounding you in this space of the Akashic Records, they are going to transport you into your own specific room inside of this magnificent realm. And we're going to count backwards from 3, 2, 1. And as we do that together, we will automatically teleport with our guides, our angels, our loved ones, our masters, our teachers. We will all teleport into our own specific rooms inside of this magnificent space. 3, 2, 1. And you disappear from the entrance of the Akashic Records, and you find yourself now in your own private room where all of your records are housed, every single bit of your past, your present, all possible futures that exist for you are available to you in this space. Take a moment and look around the room. Allow your imagination to create whatever is beautiful for you in this room. Just giving yourself a moment to look around. And I want you to notice in the middle of this room, there's a very beautiful chair, a very comfortable chair. And your guides take you over to the middle of this room and sit you down in this very comfortable chair. And as you sit down, you notice a big screen coming down from the ceiling, a big movie screen, big white movie screen. And this movie screen is completely blank, but it's emanating with a very beautiful pearlescent energy. And you're just allowing yourself to take in this beautiful pearlescence of this screen. And now we're going to ask that your masters, teachers, loved ones, and guides bring you information and insight about your soul purpose. And they're going to transmit that energy up onto that screen for you. And you might see pictures on the screen, you might see words, you might see moving pictures like a movie playing out. You might see colors. Allow yourself to experience whatever it is that they put up on the screen for you. But in order for them to give any information, you must first ask. So with a genuine heart, take a moment and just ask for insight about your soul purpose here on the planet. And we're going to count backwards again from 3, 2, 1. And we're going to allow the masters, teachers, loved ones, and guides to then project that imagery up onto the screen for us to understand more deeply what our soul purpose is here on the planet. 3, 2, 1. And just allow yourself to receive the information that's coming up on the screen. Holding space for each and every one of you to receive clear messages. Just giving yourself that moment to take in the information that's coming up for you. And most of you will be receiving messages in this space. If you find that you're not receiving messages or messages that you understand, I want to invite you to just open your heart and receive the energy that's coming in, because you are in contact right now in this moment with the energy that is your soul purpose. It's okay if you can't yet translate those messages. You will be able to. You will receive the guidance and the clarity that you're looking for. Just allow yourself to receive it in whatever way you're receiving it now. Many times we receive information in binary code, which we don't necessarily understand right in the beginning, especially if we're just starting to learn to receive messages from Spirit, from Source. So trust that whatever information that you are coming in contact right now is increasing your own frequency, is increasing your own understanding, that over the next days, over the next week, whenever the right timing is for you, that this knowledge about your soul purpose will be coming to the surface for you to understand. Taking just a few more moments to take in that energy. And then allowing the screen to go back to that beautiful pearlescent, shimmering energy, that shimmering color. And allowing the screen to slowly move back up into the ceiling. That startled me. And now we're going to thank our masters, teachers, loved ones, and guides for all information, all energy, all healing, all shifting that's come forward in this space. We're going to acknowledge the frequency of oneness, meaning that we are all truly one. We're connected with each other. We're connected with source energy at all times. And with one final Om, we're going to close the space of our Akashic Records, and we're going to allow this Om to bring us back into the present moment, into the room that you're doing this meditation in. The records are now closed. And slowly open your eyes, blinking your eyes, moving your head, wiggling your fingers and your toes, moving yourself around a little bit. Welcome back to the earth plane, everyone. And that is what it's like to move into the space of your own Akashic Records. Notice how you're feeling right now. We have, in essence, astral traveled out of this physical density. So as you're coming back in, you might feel a little bit dizzy. It's very important to ground after we're doing work like this. So to ground, you can simply drink some water, you can eat something, you can walk barefoot outside on Mother Earth to ground your energy. It's very, very important that as we work in those higher realms of energy, that we stay very grounded here on the planet. And congratulations, you have officially gone into the space of your own Akashic Records. If you've enjoyed this practice, if you wonder what else can you uncover about yourself, how can you learn to heal, how can you learn to take others on a journey into their own Akashic Records, how can you learn to create a constant contact with this space so that anytime you need wisdom, guidance, and insight, it's available at your fingertips, then I invite you to consider studying the Akashic Records and finding a mentor such as myself who will teach you how to stay in constant contact with these higher realms of energy so that you too can access the highest levels of insight, wisdom, guidance, clarity, healing in your life anytime that you need them. The most amazing thing that has happened to me through learning to read my own Akashic Records is there's been a self-transformation process, a self-healing process. The amount of cosmic knowledge that we can assimilate and really integrate into an actual meaning in our lives does not have to do with how intellectual we are, how good of an IQ you have, how high you scored on your SATs, your ACTs. It has to do with how much you love yourself. And moving through the course, my course, Learning How to Read Your Akashic Records, will take you through learning how to see yourself from this space of unconditional love and zero judgment, which natural byproduct is learning to heal and to forgive yourself and to love yourself more deeply and intimately than you've ever experienced before in your life. So again, I invite you to check out my website, www.askyourrecords.com.